everybody to our today's session. It's time to start right into our today's topic. So, my name is Nikolas, and I'm going to present today the topic Supercharge your ITSM with customized workflows. And to have a look at our today's agenda, I'm first going to introduce myself and our company, and then what are customized workflows. So short overview about the building blocks of workflows. Then I'm going to go to the advantages which are gained by using customized workflows and how we can benefit from them. So what is possible and what are the use cases that I brought today. So a few words about myself. I'm Nikolas. I'm working at Decadis for almost 3 years now, and for the same period of time I'm dealing with the Atlassian products on data center and on cloud, along with our own apps. And let's have a short look at the marketplace. So we have 10 apps there, which are commonly focused on using Jira and Confluence more efficiently, whether in use or in administration. So let's continue with the actual topic. What are customized workflows? Basically customized workflows are tailored workflows to meet specific project and organizational needs. And these workflows involve adding, removing, or modifying steps in default Jira workflows. So where can you actually use these? So in cloud, we have two different project types. On one hand side, the team managed area or projects, which are set up and maintained by project administrators. And these use simplified configurations to quickly start your daily topics. Unfortunately, it's not available there. It's not possible to use advanced workflow functionalities, but you can use them on company managed projects. So these are set up and maintained by the Jira admins, which are like a level higher, and advanced configurations are available there with like full configuration and flexibility. Yes. So I assume that everybody of you saw workflows so far. So on the left side, we have a default workflow on service management project. And to go through the legend real quick, we have a starting point, which is right on top. And then we have like connections, which are called transitions. These have a direction. So we start by creating a ticket, and then this ticket will land in the status open. And we have then additional transitions that connect these different statuses, as well as like an additional thing that we're gonna have a look at in a minute. So statuses are state of tasks, which means we have something like open, in progress, or done. And besides their use as a workflow step, they can be used for example, approvals, to ask customer if the issue is already resolved, to make decisions easier, and of course authorization or approval itself. You can add a global transition, which you see here as this all transition to that open status, as well as there are status properties, like you can make issues editable or like not editable in several statuses to prevent users from making changes in certain statuses. So let's have a closer look at what different types of transitions we have. So first of all, we have a normal one-to-one transition, which is from the status open to in progress. Same thing, we can reuse these. Like if we have a transition that is called in progress, it can be used from testing as well as another status, for example, on hold. These are the common ones. And we have some self-reflecting transitions, which can go from one status right to themselves to execute something, or from all statuses to itself. And the third thing that we have that I've teasered already is the global transition. So you can go to that status on hold from every other status in the workflow. Yeah. Regular transitions here shown in the issue view on the right side. We are currently in the status open. And you see here we have 3 transitions to pending, to work in progress, and to the done status. And if you go to the drop-down menu, you see all of these 3 statuses that you can reach from open also here in that issue view. Next up, we have the self-reflecting transitions. And as you maybe know them from the workflow view, and like when you're editing a workflow, configuring the workflow in the middle, that you set them up as a new transition from any status to itself, and then you give it a name. And in the issue view, you don't find them in the actual transition and the workflow. You find them underneath the actions topic. And here are some pre-configured that we're going to have a closer look also later. Next up, we have in these different statuses several properties. For example, for the transition properties that you can say in a workflow are properties added. For example, that you can say, okay, going to this new status, I can include or exclude several resolutions. This is like a built-in feature from Jira to make modifications throughout different projects. We have next up the triggers, and triggers are events that are initiated by automations. For example, you have a software project, like in a software project, a pull request that you want to move your issue from pending to work in progress, and if this happens when you do the actual trigger, that you don't have to do any further actions. Additionally, we have conditions, which are like checks that run before you actually transition, and they also prevent users, for example, if they are not in the correct group, to actually see this transition. Next up, we have validators, and as the name states, they validate requirements during the status change. So these transitions are always visible, but not always executable. It depends if the validation fails and the status change is not be doable, then users get also an error on the screen. And finally, we have post functions, and these are actions that are executed when performing a transition. So every automation will be executed when the conditions and the validators say, okay, this works, you can continue, then all these automations that are built in will be executed. So this leads us to the question, why should we use customized workflows? So there are voices out there that say, okay, it's really hard to work with Jira and it's too complicated to configure. But in my opinion, Jira is a powerful tool, but without efficient workflows, tickets can become overwhelming and difficult to manage. So especially in larger organizations or when it comes to introduce Jira, workflows often decide between success and failure. So here are a few key factors that need to be considered. Tailored workflows means that you can meet your needs in the teams. For example, specific requirements, define statuses and transitions that are really relevant for you, and it's possible to increase the efficiency that you can remove unnecessary steps or actions to reach the goal, reducing the time and effort that's required. You have a better visibility and tracking, which helps in being more accurate in your daily business, as well as divide statuses into multiple, because it's not always useful to have a generalized in progress when you need certain steps in a given order. that are made by specialists in the team. You can improve your communication by reducing miscommunication and ensure that everyone is on the same page, because like statuses and like Jira is a single source of truth. So when you have everything well configured, this clears out the roles and the responsibilities based on the statuses. So if it's set up transparently, everybody can do its job very well. So next up, it enhances customer satisfaction. For example, it can lead to faster issue resolution times. Additionally, clear responsibilities, like who is in charge when it comes to queries to customers. And as a last point, the user acceptance. So nothing is greater than a process created by the team that follows it. So keep this in mind, because like someone said, if you digitize a shitty process, you have a shitty digital process. This is a quote from a German CEO, Thorsten Dirks. And having a well-designed workflow in place in Jira can help to mitigate these challenges in several ways. So how do I actually design a proper process to meet my needs? First of all, you need to understand your requirements before building a custom workflow. It's important to understand what the team is going to do, what their needs are, and it's helpful to determine what statuses, transitions, and also other workflow components you need to include. So basically, keep it simple, because too many statuses and transitions can make a workflow confusing, especially when it comes to new people. That also means to use descriptive names, so no abbreviations, no acronyms, that everybody who joins the team new can get familiar with everything quite easily. Set up appropriate permissions, which is also a big thing in Jira, that you make sure to set up these permissions for the statuses and the transitions in your workflow. And this will ensure that only the appropriate users can perform certain actions. Next up, of course, test it thoroughly, because before deploying your custom workflow, it should you should identify which problems could occur and to prevent your team from being ineffective. Another thing that is also important is to document the workflow, because this could help users to understand how the workflow actually is used and how to use it effectively. Considering third-party apps is like my final point to get to our Supercharge topic for today, because like there are a wide range of third-party add-ons on the marketplace, and you should definitely consider to include some of them to streamline your functionality, to streamline your workflow and add additional functionalities. So let's talk about one of these third-party apps, which is Jira Workflow Toolbox. This is one of our apps that we have on Marketplace. And this flagship has about 6,000 installations and serves for around 5 million users worldwide. It is available for data center as well as cloud. And I'm gonna talk a bit about this in detail now. So the key features are, on one hand side, conditions and validators, as I previously stated, and on the other side, post functions. And so why JWT and why customized workflows? 2 advanced conditions and validators that are brought by JWT to ensure valid routines through your processes, as well as data integrity. Reliability, a reliable process design that simply works. So you have that limitation in Jira, on Jira Cloud, that several like executions are counted, and these like automations are limited. So with our app, you have the possibility to use automations without any limitations, and it's a manageable single source of truth to maintain. So you don't need to mix global rules with project rules or any conditions and additional validators. You have just your workflow where you configure everything, and then you're good to go. So post functions, for example, a update issue field post function in the native version of Jira is like very old-fashioned in its UI. You have only the possibility to add or manipulate one field, and there is no expression editor. And with Jira Workflow Toolbox, you have a modern UI. You have the possibility to update multiple fields at once, as well as a powerful expression editor where you can easily like search and pick your fields, as well as other functions to set fields and to manipulate text, whatever your needs are. So here is an example of the expression editor that allows to configure these like post functions as well as validators and conditions very easily, and it helps you to check the syntax, as well as testing is available directly from the expression editor. So we have the possibility to use logical validation. For example, check if the assignee field is not empty, and then you easily click on the run button to check if this is like a valid expression, and you get the expression tester right below it. Pick your issue and click run, and then you see, okay, for this issue, this validation would be return true. But it's not only possible to use like comparisons here. You can also like directly access any information from your fields, like JWT1 as the issue key, any other like fields like the last comment. You can even count or calculate things, and this helps you to start, which is like a built-in use case database to, for example, quickly access a use case and modify it. And here we can like go for check for PDF attachments, like click it, and then you get the expression right into the expression parser and can like try it. Additionally to that, we have an autocomplete mode to simply like press Control and space, and then you can like, as you know it from development like IDEs, you can simply code whatever you want. This is also a quick like feature to set it up. Here is our expression parser handbook, which provides all these functions that are available, beginning from math functionalities to converting data types, as well as like accessing lists and manipulating lists, or like setting up variables. If you go into further detail, like you open up one expression or one function, you get additional information as how to set it up, what could be like an example for input and output, and what data type it has. So how can we benefit from use cases? To create a ticket that is like, for example, requested in a service desk project, you can use Jira Workflow Toolbox to create a similar ticket in another software project. And to show this, let me like hop into our issue view. So here you see an issue that was recently created, and we open the actions menu and say, okay, create a development ticket from this, and then we right immediately get an issue created that is also linked to our previous issue. So you have the linked issue here with the key, and with the same name you have now a ticket in our MI development project. Next up, our next use case is how to integrate a translation opportunity, and we used a REST call to the DeepL DeepL REST API. Sorry, and this is also set up with a new functionality of JWT, which is called execute remote action. So you have, for example, a ticket that is created in a language that you cannot read. So you easily click on your transition that is pre-configured, hit translate, select the language, and then you get a translated text. For example, here in a new tab that you can easily work on without leaving your system. The next use case, for example, we implemented a second system that is called HubSpot to get custom data for the CRM. So if you have a CRM, like a customer relationship management database in the background, somebody requests a ticket and you need further information, for example, for sales, for any other information, simply use your configured post function, click on that thing, and then you immediately get the additional data right into your ticket. And by now, everybody should have heard of that new upcoming topic, AI, artificial intelligence. So also Atlassian came up with the Atlassian intelligence, and this is the next use case is inspired by even this. So how to reply with an AI generated text on specific requests or issues. So we used ChatGPT and implemented it with Jira Workflow Toolbox to reply to a ticket, and somebody requested, how do I get all bug tickets which were created last week from a Jira project using JQL? So a user, for example, has problems creating a JQL, and without even big effort, you can click on the transition ChatGPT, and you get the response immediately that ChatGPT says, okay, let's try this JQL for the project key, issue type bug, and created greater than, and it equals start of the week -1 as well as end of week -1. And this is also very easy. Next up would be another use case for ChatGPT. Somebody asked, should I consider buying JWT when working with customized workflows? So this is a thing that is not really related to anything that you could generate from scratch. So we asked ChatGPT, how about this? And he replied, or it replied, in summary, Jira Workflow Toolbox is a powerful tool to for customizing and automating your Jira workflows, but it requires technical expertise and comes with costs. If you have the necessary skills and resources, it can be an excellent choice for advancing workflow customization. So yes, you need some expertise, technical expertise, because more advanced functions require some knowledge, but you don't really need code experience or coding skills. this is manageable for everybody who has access to this tool. All right. So Jira Workflow Toolbox, you can try it for free, and you get more than conditions, validators, and post functions. You get excellent customer support. You get a use case library and a Jira that supports your processes. So I reached the end a bit earlier, so maybe we can have a look at where are my
If you want to have a look at Q&A questions, there are none yet.
all right.
But if you had anything more to show, so this is now your perfect chance in the audience to, if you have a use case that you always wanted to, where you wished that Jira would be able to automate that for you, and you're thinking, maybe that can be done with Jira Workflow Toolbox, this is now the perfect moment to ask them.
Are there any questions yet? Otherwise, I would have a look at our documentation. Let me just change my screen share. All right.
If there are any Q&A questions coming up, I will let you know.
Great, perfect. So, Jira Workflow Toolbox on Data Center. Our documentation is a bit broader because, like, this app is longer on the marketplace than the cloud version. So, and also due to like infrastructure limitations, we provide a lot more. For example, we have calculated fields that are split to another new app that is called Smart Fields for Jira. So also calculated fields are available in cloud, but as a separate app. So first of all, here we have the use case library to, for example, have a look at. We have these like categorized as post functions. We have conditions and we have validators here marked. And all of these, as you know it from Confluence and an enterprise wiki, are connected to each other. So it's really easy to access and build whatever your needs are from either these use cases or like search in the knowledge base to like use expressions and combine them.
There actually was a question now.
Yes.
And the question is, does this interface with the customer JSM customer portal at all? So is there ways to combine JWT functionality with a JSM customer portal?
So this is not possible. Like JWT is only like meant to help you with workflow configurations in the background. So you don't have any possibilities or options to like really manipulate your customer portal.
But of course, in the case that you have some of your transitions open for the customers, then those transitions could include post functions that automatically trigger. Is that correct?
True, that is correct so far. So this is an opportunity to give your customers an option to, as you know it, from like closing an issue when it's done to, for example, request further things or like make manipulations whenever it's needed.
So because the JWT configurations are inside the workflow, those are not really visible on the customer portal, but the effects could be triggered via the customer portal by the customers.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for your question.
Any further questions? Anything that you want to know? Anything that you want to have a closer look at? So I've talked about that there are automations, like automations available in JWT. This is also only a data center feature, which is not yet brought to cloud. You have the possibility to use different like event listeners to make any automations, any changes to fields, anything that you could kind of imagine. We set up use cases like whenever somebody creates a ticket, filling out names for a new user account, you could use an automation rule to trigger an execute remote action post function to use the API to create a new user account for that requested user. This is also possible to really make this as a shortcut. Any further questions?
There was only one question to our documentation, link to our documentation for the app, which I provided in the directly in the Q&A section.
Okay, perfect. So JWT, as I said, is also available in cloud, and you find also the documentation right next to the data center version, which is a bit smaller but quite powerful to fulfill your needs. Also here we have a use case library for post functions as well as conditions and validators. And also migration to cloud is a big thing. So we recently upgraded the possibilities to have the automated migration path, which works now way better than before.
So, I'm not sure if any more questions will be coming in, but if there are any questions that come to your mind after this talk has ended, you can come to our booth and chat us up, and we'll try, or if you have some individual use case that might be too long to discuss it here, you can come to the booth and chat with one of us, and we'll see whether we can solve your requirements, your use cases with JWT.
Yes, thank you for your attention. And to have a short overview, what's possible for your follow-up questions on any topics, as Barbara already mentioned, come to our booth. If you need any help with use cases, contact our support. And if you're interested in any expert insights to our apps or use cases, we recently started a new format, Use Cases of the Month, as a webinar. So feel free to attend this. We will promote it when the next webinar is ready to go. Okay then, thanks again for attending, and See you.